Hiya guys, today we're going to show you how to fix an iPhone 5. There's a few tools you need. Obviously this one's in a bit of a mess, so we'll get around that. But as you can see here, you need your pentalobe screwdriver, your normal screwdriver. This one's quite interesting because it's got a magnetic tip on it, so that way we won't lose the screws. You've got your case knife, which is normally used for getting watches off backs, but backs off watches, but you can't use them on mobile phones. I'll show you how. You've got your spludger, got some tweezers, and just in case there's some dirt on the contacts, you've got your fibre optic cleaner as well. And this is probably the most important part. It's a screw mat which is magnetic. It helps us not to lose any of the screws when there's other stuff going on in the shop. Yeah, so first of all we want to take these screws out, if you can see them. Pentalobe screws, so we use a pentalobe screwdriver. Nice and simple. Like I say, make sure you don't lose the screws, so we put them on the magnetic mat. And this is where you would use a case knife. I personally use a case knife because I've never found any issues, but you can't use suction cups like this to lift the screen off. There's a few different various methods. You'll find the one that suits you. Normally what I would do is put it near the earphone jack, slip it under, get some leverage, and then start peeling it upwards. Right, you can see a metal frame just underneath there. There you go, and now we're starting to lift. So now the first thing you want to do is you want to disconnect the battery, because you don't want any power going through this. Because you can short out the battery and you can short out the whole motherboard, and it'll cause you a lot of aggro. So you want to take these two screws off. You want to lift this up with a pair of tweezers, and then you want to just disconnect the battery with there. As you can see, not a lot of effort needed. And then you want to start undoing these three screws. So there we go. We'll take this one off here. This one is always the worst one because it's not magnetic, so the screwdriver can't pick it up. So you want to get yourself a pair of little tweezers, stick it on the screw mat. Lovely. Same on that one and that one. Now you want to lift up this heat plate. It just protects all the connections for the screen. I'm going to stick that somewhere safe. And then you want to, this one is for your camera, this one is your LCD, and the next one's your digitizer. So as you can see, it's all off, and this is what we got left. So first thing you want to do is you want to get the flex for the home button off the original screen. So we undo these two screws. Go. Now this is where you want to be careful, because you want to preserve the original flex if possible. And when I say flex, as you can see, that's why we call it a flex. So you just want to get your knife, peel it under, off it comes, nice. So leave that one side. You want to test it as well. Actually, that one has lost all its internal parts, as you can see. I'll show you what a new one looks like in a second. So pause. Okay. Cool, so you can see the difference between the two buttons. This is the original one, this is the new one. And as you can see, there's some internals missing there. And if you press it, you can feel a little pop as well, so you know that it's working. So this, go in the bin. So that's the home button ready. Now you want to get the heat shield off the LCD. So there's a couple of little screws on the side. Put them somewhere safe on the magnetic mat. You won't lose them. Then you want to undo the top ones. One. So now you want to undo, this is the in-ear speaker, so when you make a phone call and you hear the your person talking, it comes from this speaker here. So you want to take that off, and then you want to get your case knife again. Oh, actually, we'll take the heat shield off as that's unscrewed. But you want to get your case knife again, put it underneath this little flap here, and slowly peel the camera flex off the frame. There you go, lovely. And then it's just connected in there as well. So as you can see, this little piece of rubber got stuck on it. We don't need that because that's on the new screen, and that is all done.
Now let me know when you're ready. Let's go.
Cool. Right, ready? So we want to start putting this one together now. So obviously get your back plate on there. And then handy little magnetic mat. You want to get all the screws back in there. Literally just a case of putting the screws back in now, rebuilding the new screen. So we got a new front button, which is here, and this is the flex again that we showed you earlier. So let's get that back on there and then screw it down. Make sure that's stuck to the frame. And then we want to put the front facing camera back on. So to do this, you've got this little section here that just pops into the rubber holder like so. Yeah, like so. And then the camera obviously sits in where the camera goes. And then your in-ear speaker, remember that this part here is to shield the camera. So you want, me personally, I get the top screw because it's the longest one. Let's get that in place. Give it a little half turn, and then get the bottom one in. Give that all the way down, then finish that one off. Lovely. Then one last screw at the top, and now we can put the new screen onto the phone. First of all, you want to, what I personally do is make sure the camera is central, it's not off to the side or anything. You don't need to move it. And now this comes the tricky part. So you want to lever it like an open book, and you want to press these connections on in sequence. So you've got the top one, the bottom one, and then the side camera connection. So you don't want to push too hard. You can feel it clicking together on the end of your finger. I mean, and then what you want to do is use your spludger, just make sure that it is definitely connected on. And then this one could be quite tricky sometimes. And then get your camera flex. And then what I personally do, you want to put your camera, you want to get the battery back on, and then we just give it a test now because it's all connected. Turning on, lovely, we know it's working, so let's finish putting it together. So we've got this heat shield which goes over the top here, and there's little parts where it clicks in the side, and then screw it in. One, this top corner screw It's non-magnetic, so we'll have to hold that one with the tweezers, but it's the only screw they use in a phone which is not magnetic, so in there. Press that down and then make sure they're clicked in. Lovely. And then we have the battery connection, the battery plate, which sits on the top, like so, and then screw that back in place. And screw that one down. Lovely. Now, when you're putting the screen on, you'll notice a couple of little lips just here, and they need to sit underneath the frame, the metal frame. So you want to lever that in first. Make sure. Like so. Sometimes this can be difficult depending on how bent the frame is, but this one seems quite straightforward. There we go. Let's make sure it's flush all the way around the edge. Lovely. Test it. There you go. Make sure both buttons work. Lovely. And then we want to put the pentalobe screws in, and that is how you fix an iPhone 5. Thank you guys. Have a good day.